Hi, welcome back everybody to Keeping Up with Senior Solutions. We're here today with a special guest who is Pati Kimball. She is our Medicare specialist at Senior Solutions. She has lots of great information. Before Jim and I start the process of interviewing and extracting some of the information that she knows so much about, I'd like to let you know that at the end of this program, there will be a short video by the National Council on Aging. So it's about senior hunger and SNAP. So stay tuned when we end, okay? So Jim, let's let Pati get in. She's the star of the show.
She is the star. Pati, welcome.
And thank you for having me.
Why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit about your own personal background and how you got connected with Senior Solutions. You've been here for a while and you've made a tremendous impact on our programs. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started at Senior Solutions, Council on Aging, Southeastern Vermont, January 7th, 2008. I was hired as an advocate case manager, and about 2012, I joined the senior helpline team. And then in 2015, I became the SHIP coordinator 3 days before the Medicare follow-up enrollment.
Oh my gosh, Pati, that's like trial by fire.
I know. That creates a great background.
It was interesting.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. You are the SHIP Medicare specialist. Could you just tell us basically what that is?
So SHIP is it stands for the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, and it provides local, in-depth, and objective insurance counseling and assistance to Medicare eligible individuals, their families, and or caregivers. Each of the 5 area agency on agings in Vermont has one of me. And it's just, we're a nonprofit. We're providing unbiased information. We can help with Medicare drug plan comparisons, enrollments, and we can talk to people about Medicare supplement plans. I actually provide quite a nice packet that entails all the Medicare supplement insurance companies. So we do Medicare classes, also known as boot camps. We've been doing those via Zoom, and I have a wonderful SHIP volunteer named Don, who has been doing a few Zoom classes, and I'm very grateful to have him. Takes a little bit off my plate.
My gosh, Pati, there's so much. I almost don't know where to begin. Let's see. Go ahead, Jim.
I think I have a question. We're hearing, being bombarded as a senior or anybody listening to television and all the advertising. This is open enrollment time. Come get this Advantage plan. Come and get. Why is it better for me as a senior who has Medicare that comes to Senior Solution for advice rather than a company, let's say?
Because we're going to do the comparison either at Medicare.gov, where anyone can do it themselves if they feel like they have that web savvy personality that they can try, or they can come to us. But we are going to provide unbiased information. We're not agents. We are a nonprofit, again, just providing basic Medicare information and doing comparisons with all the companies. You know, so if you're looking at an Advantage plan, we are not going to just talk about one company. We're going to tell you about the 2 companies in Vermont that have Advantage plans, and the same with the drug plans. So Vermont currently has around 9 or 10 companies that offer different drug plans, and we're going to compare each plan based on a person's medication and their pharmacy, and look for the lowest out-of-pocket plan for them. So if they called an agent, the agent is going to tell them about their company, correct?
Very good.
It's almost like, I just thought of it now, it's almost like shopping for a car. if you go to a Ford dealer, they're not going to tell you about Subarus or a Lexus or anything
Correct.
else. They're
Correct.
only going to present all this Ford options.
Correct.
Same idea. Well, I like also the fact that from all of your experience, you can also think of questions that most of us would not even occur to us to ask.
Correct. And a lot of
this is-
people even might know basic information. Like again, I have heard many times over the years, well, doesn't Medicare pay 80 and I pay 20%? So that basically is
Yeah.
sort of the truth, but there is deductibles with Part A and Part B, and then we talk about supplements. And of course, different companies can charge what they want for a Medicare supplement plan, but no one can tell them what to charge, but Medicare standardizes those plans. So that means if someone's looking for a Medicare, let's just throw an example, a supplement plan G, then if they come to us, they're going to find out that there are other companies besides the one that they talked to that offer a plan G. And sometimes a different company might offer a plan G for a lot less money than the company that that person may have contacted. So
True.
you should come to Senior Solutions.
Not knowing the answer, I'm going to ask you, does every company's Plan G reflect the universal Medicare Plan G?
Correct, they're standardized.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as I said,
Right.
Medicare standardizes the plan, so, but Medicare or even our government cannot tell or dictate rather to a company what their premium has to stay at. So I can give an example, but I won't name names here on TV. There's a company that has a plan G for $161, and there's a company that sells one for $320 something. But you're
And it's the
getting
same identical plan?
correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Wow. Jim, what else can we ask?
Well, I guess the question is, I think a lot of people, I know what happened to me, I did not get involved with Medicare till I was 70. Social Security until I was 70, all right, because you can make more money that way on your Social Security, all right. But then I got into the Medicare, and I was very, I don't think I really had a lot of the facts. And I have a good, I have the regular Medicare, then I have a supplement through the state teachers retirement, which I don't have to pay for. So that was a good way.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah, that was a good way to save money, but I did not add a prescription. And so I need to do that this open enrollment because I didn't realize the penalty piece involved. Could you speak to that a little bit?
So there's a lot behind that, and I guess you and I can talk, you know, if you want to call me up. I'm wondering if your current plan has a prescription component.
It does not.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So we need to talk.
Add to the rescue.
So now, during fall open enrollment, good segue. This is about fall Medicare fall open enrollment. And while I'm calling it fall, it begins October 15th and ends December 7th every year, okay? This is when an individual can join a Medicare Advantage plan or a drug plan if they've never had one, okay? If you are currently in a Medicare drug plan, even if you've had that drug plan, let's say 5 years, it is in your best interest to do a drug plan comparison. Please call Senior Solutions. I'm sure Joann will have our number at the end.
Yes.
What's going to happen is, and I can give an example, I helped an individual last year who was in a drug plan for several years, and when it began, it was something like $28 a month, and in 2020, it's $78 a month.
Wow.
However, that individual never compared her plan, never. And one of the other worst parts about it was She had 2 medications that are very low tier generic. That also plays a role in the cost, the out-of-pocket cost of your medication. And I found a plan for her for $14.20, and her
Wow.
co-pays were going to be like $10 a month. Her
That's
total cost per
amazing.
month was exactly. So it's in everyone's
Oh.
best interest to at least compare your plan. You do not have to change. You might call us and we'll do the comparison with you, and you're going to find out you're still in the best plan that's available for you for the following January 1st. But it doesn't hurt to try.
Absolutely.
That's great. It's good to know if you do that comparison and decide to stay with your plan because it is good. That's very reassuring.
It's very important to at least compare. And then at
Wow.
times we can actually talk to individuals if we find out there's other circumstances, like they're struggling with paying for things. Then our agency will screen people and help them to talk about state programs that can defray the cost of Medicare. So that's another very important piece of Senior Solutions, is screening people to make sure that they are living comfortable and that we can provide as many applications or application assistance for programs to defray the cost of Medicare.
That's terrific. Is that part of the Medicare savings programs?
Well, so yeah, Medicare Savings Program is one of the state assistance program that can help defray the cost of Medicare. So a Medicare Savings Program, there's 3 different levels. It's based on a unmarried person or a married couple, okay, even if one person's applying. And what it does is it provides low-income people to have their Part B paid for. So it's a very generous program. And by the way, it only looks at someone's income, and it does not look at any asset or resources. So it's not looking at someone's savings.
So if you manage to save your money all your life, you're not putting that at risk.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to call the Senior Solutions, at least get screened. Doesn't, it's free.
Jim, when this show is over, I'll race you to call Patty to get an appointment.
I've already done that.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too painful of a penalty.
No, Sarah's already gone a little bit with it, so it won't be too painful, but I'll sit with you.
Sarah is very good at what she does. She's my partner.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the training, Patty, that you put people through, and I mean that in a positive way, okay? They really grasp what they need to do to help our seniors, all right? And we welcome our seniors to contact our helpline at 885-2669 and set up an appointment via the phone or what have you. Is that the process, Patty? Or
absolutely. So again, open enrollment to check your current drug plan, or if you are in an Advantage plan, it's the same thing. It's October 15th through December 7th every year. You can at least compare. You can change then. The plan that you decide to go with will begin the following January 1st. Okay, so the information begins on January 1st. You might do a comparison with one of us and find out you're still in the lowest cost plan. But call us, it's free, it's helpful. We'll fit you in, we'll give you an appointment. We do almost everything over the phone. It is not that difficult. It sounds sometimes difficult that, oh no, someone's just gonna call me and I really like to see people, but I promise you, we can do this over the phone. We've been doing this for years.
That's right, you have so much experience. That's great. And I was wondering, are there any kinds of documents that people need to have on hand before they call?
So usually what happens currently is they would call that number, and that's our helpline. And most of the times during open enrollment, because it's difficult for us always to just call the person and do that enrollment right then during that call, we would probably have to set up a scheduled phone call, which could be the next day, or it could be a day in the following week, depending on our scheduled appointments. And at the time of this call, we will go over what we're going to expect from that individual.
Oh, great.
Yes, it will usually be, of course, their Medicare card and all their medications lined up in front of them.
Right. Can some of that, can our Senior Solutions nurse help them with their list of meds or anything? Would that be helpful as well in that process?
I think if someone indicates verbally somehow to one of us that, you know, they get confused when they're taking medications, if there's some kind of conversation that, oh my gosh, you know, oh, I forgot about this medication. It's in my basket, but I haven't taken it. I can bring up that we have a person that can give them a call and come visit them, or whatever she's doing these days.
Right.
And yeah, it's difficult today with COVID. None of us, I'm still working from home, and most of us are not doing too many home visits or office visits. But we're still helping.
Yes, and you're doing a great job, Patty. I have to say, you know, we hear wonderful things from people about the help you give them. It's terrific.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Jim, what's next on our list of questions? Do you have one, or?
Oh, I can come up with a zillion of them. No. So do you have to yourself go through a significant, even though you're an expert right now, I would say, do you constantly have to keep up? And does the state provide a lot more trainings to update you? Because this is really more complicated than everybody out there is listening to, you know? Yes.
I actually have monthly SHIP coordinator meetings. I just had one this morning. That's with each of the other SHIP coordinators at the AAAs, as well as our Vermont SHIP director, Donna Sutton-Fay. And coming up October 5th, we're going to be having a Zoom meeting with the people from Green Mountain Care that take care of the V-Farm program that helps people with paying for their Medicare drug plan and lower their copays if they're income eligible. And they provide us every year the new information that's going to be coming up for V-Farm, which means the benchmark. So that benchmark is a certain drug plan premium that each year V-Farm, aka Green Mountain Care, will cover for a drug plan. Usually there's only a few drug plans that are under that. So we're always learning. There's always updates. I get so many email updates from Medicare, probably daily. Since COVID, we've been getting multiple updates. I probably have about 10 in my inbox right now from CMS.
Really?
It's constant, yeah. It's constant. Wow. It's constant update. So it's constantly refreshing to have to reload, if you will, and say, oh my gosh, they've changed this. So every year, Medicare premiums change.
Right.
Yeah. So those are new. All of those numbers are new. So it's a constant change.
Right. Now, does the same factors entered into Medicaid? No, they don't. There's not an open enrollment for Medicaid. The Medicaid.
Oh gosh, no, for none of the state programs.
That's right.
Anytime during the year, if someone calls Senior Solutions 802-885-2669 and they think, well, jeepers, maybe I am eligible for one of those programs.
Right.
You can apply anytime. There's no open enrollment for those programs that are designed to help defray the cost of Medicare.
Okay.
So I just want to be clear that there's an open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act through Vermont Health Connect that starts sometime in November. But when the Green Mountain Care programs that help defray the cost of Medicare, people on Medicare, there's no open enrollment. It's any time during the year that you would like to apply.
Well, that's really helpful. Yeah. You know, I'm wondering also, is there still a boot camp schedule for Medicare for September 25th?
Yes,
virtually?
yes, and my favorite volunteer, Don, is doing that. I don't know if he's going to do one for October, but yes, there is for September 25th. He's in contact with me all the time. Somehow
So should people call the helpline and say they'd like to sign up so that they can give their phone
Yes.
number and email? They need an email address so that they can get the Zoom.
Correct,
meeting.
correct. And
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
absolutely. And they do. You can call 802-885-2669 and say, I'm interested in attending the Medicare class on September 25th. It is through Zoom. I just want to let you know that. What will happen is it'll probably be me returning the call to you. It'll go into our call module. I can view it at home. I return the calls. I will gather some basic information if the intake person hasn't done that yet. And I will send you the Zoom link so you can attend that class.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely great. Thank you. Holy cow. But are there any funny stories or anything anecdotally that, you know, kind of would be interesting to hear about?
I don't know if they're funny stories, but again, going back to the 80-20,
Okay.
a lot of people just hear that. I don't know where that started, but I even heard that prior to even taking this position, that Medicare
I
paid
think
80
I've heard
and I
it.
only paid
Yeah.
20.
I think I've heard it. And to be honest with you, I'm one of those people that go, oh, that's okay. And I never pursued any other information.
Correct.
So I
And-
think, yeah.
And the only, and one other part of Medicare that is rather surprising to me a lot of the time is what I want to share is if you're turning 65 years old, you should contact your local Social Security Administration and enroll in Medicare unless you have active employer insurance and there's more than 20 employees. That's the only time you really should say, I do not need Medicare. Medicare does not send a Medicare card just because you're turning 65. You do have to enroll.
Yeah. Interesting. That's very interesting. And I don't think a lot of people know
They do.
that they should go through Social Security.
Correct, correct. And Social Security is the only agency that enrolls people in Medicare. So if you somehow got the Medicare number and you called them, they would give you the Social Security number.
The big circle there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's see. You know what? I do have a strange question that I just thought of. Are there any insurances, not the supplemental or whatever the advantage and those things, like catastrophic health insurance policies? Do any of them work together with Medicare somehow?
And
No.
maybe I'm not understanding the question correctly. So back to Medicare supplement plans. Okay, so if you purchase a Medicare supplement plan, it is
Yep.
designed to work with the Part A and B. So again, there are plans that are like a Plan F covers the entire Part A co-payments and deductible, and Part B co-payments and deductible. So you're never going to have a hospital or a doctor bill. Medicare gets billed in your Plan F through whatever company is charged. So
Okay.
I don't know what the catastrophic, I think you might mean the hospital part, like if you're in the hospital for a long period of time.
Right. If you have a catastrophic illness and your ongoing hospital bills and so forth will cost you $300,000.
But Medicare is going to cover you
Yeah.
If you do not have a supplement, however, to cover the a deductible and those co-payments, oh gosh, yes, you're going to have out-of-pocket costs.
Right.
Yes.
But they would be covered if you have a supplemental policy there.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. It's
That
more
is-
of a wraparound.
Right.
nice.
And those are the kinds of advices that you're going to give
Yes.
a potential client who
Yes.
is very confused. And
Oh, yes.
I know you'll sit down with them and there'll be charts so that they can see it, and they ultimately, you provide it fair and square, and they ultimately can make the decision.
Well, actually, in the chart that we provide, actually comes from the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation.
Oh, really?
So the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation oversees securities, banking, and insurances.
Right.
So they actually provide the chart every year on their website. I just download them and provide them to people. So I'm either printing them out or I'm sending them to people via email, but it's actually the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation that provides that chart. I just provide all the other info sheets to help people decipher how to read that chart.
I think it would be very difficult for just a layman to be able to figure that out. They need people like yourself to walk through it so that they get a clear picture. And if they say, can you give me an advice, Patty, which direction should I go in? You might say, it's, well, either this one or this one, but it's ultimately up to you to make the decision. What are your finances like? What's your health condition like? What kind of prescriptions do you have?
Correct.
And you get all that information and they talk it out with you, and they end up making the right decision.
What I really do is I talk to them about what each plan covers, but I cannot influence them on which company that they decide to go with. You know, that's not something we can do, obviously.
Right.
You know, I think that's practice.
What a
I
service.
think I would be so tempted to say, no, don't pick that one. That doesn't sound like. But Patty, you're so experienced. You know better than.
You know, the thing is, Joann, that's funny that you say that, because the thing is when usually they have this packet in the mail by the time I'm calling them. In the perfect world, I've either mailed it or hopefully one of my coworkers have mailed it, and then we can go over it because they have a visual and I'm going by that. But what I share with them is I say, so which plan are you leaning toward?
Yeah, right.
Okay? So again, just like the example I gave before, if someone says, oh, I'm thinking about a plan G, and I think I'm going with company X, and company X's plan G is $320, what I'm going to say is, oh, I'm curious, why would you go with company X? Do you see that company Y has a plan G for 161? I can't say.
Yeah.
If I was you,
Yeah, right.
you're getting the same coverage. It's up to you if you want to pay $120 more or 100, whatever.
Right, right.
Makes them feel better.
Wow.
Well, we just can't encourage people enough to call. And even it doesn't have to be the person who's becoming eligible. It can be a relative or friend who's
Correct.
going to be trying to help someone enroll, correct?
Correct. Caregivers, legal
Yeah.
guardians, absolutely. We get those calls all the time. And, we're the only agency I know that really can't speak to another person that isn't the person themselves is Social Security Administration. I always tell people, I can tell you basic information about Medicare for your loved one, but when you call Social Security, you're going to have to submit or fax whatever legal paperwork you have so they can speak to you, or have that person next to you so they can give permission. But we can give basic information. We're not giving out any information about the person. We're just giving basic Medicare information.
That's right. You're giving your helpful education.
That's correct. It's just education. It's basic Medicare education.
Now, before we end, Patty, could you just review the dates of when people have to make decisions and so forth?
So again, Medicare fall open enrollment is every year. It's October 15th through December 7th. That's the only window of time that you can change your current Medicare drug plan, change your current Advantage plan, or if you're like Jim and you've never enrolled in a drug plan and you're thinking about looking to see what the cost is going to be, you can enroll in a drug plan for the first time.
Right.
So
Right.
that's every year. The plan that you enroll in or change to will begin the following January.
Jerry.
This
Good,
is great.
good information.
Patty, every time I talk with you, Patty, I learn something new. Honestly, this is great. And okay, everybody out there, if you want more information or personal information about Medicare, who are you going to call?
Senior Solutions.
At
Yeah.
802
Yeah.
885 2669.
You got
Okay,
it.
gang.
So many of our seniors are shopping at the dollar store and buying most of their food prepackaged items, for $20 worth of stuff. And you can eat, you don't starve, but you don't have any nutrition.
It's really hard to eat healthy. The food's so expensive.
I need food, decent food, not scraps.
So even if they're not hungry, they're getting sick nutritionally as a result of the diet.
And with me having leukemia, I can't eat the things I need to eat to help me. So it keeps me weak and down.
It's just absolutely incredible what people can do with that extra couple of $1,000s a year.
I wasn't eating healthy. You know, I was eating a lot of junk food. But now as the food stamp scheme in, it's helpful.